Well, we've had to lift this slab. I'm not going to explain. I've made a mistake with it. I've cut it wrong from the top. But I just want to show you, as we've lifted it, this is where we've used the priming slurry from Aspects for paving. And as you can see, it's absolutely stuck to it perfectly. Perfect. That's bonding with that slab. Aspects priming slurry. Well, here we are. I'll explain to you what's going on there after and what we're doing there, but we're heading in this direction now, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be out of this part and we'll be moving back across here. But what we're actually doing here, we're doing the tray on this manhole now. We're going to be putting an inspection tray in here, and you'll be able to see how that turns out. And my phone is about to go. There you are. I share everything with you, and here's my guilt. I've started to cut this. This slab was in situ, it was on the ground in place, and we could cut from the top, and I've come through with a small blade, and we try to just, I should have knocked this down, and I try to knock it up, and it's scabbed off a big piece out of this part. So that's not good. That's a huge mistake really in respect of what this actual unit has cost me now, but we will be able to use this slab for a cut on another part anyway. So but there we are, you don't want to be making mistakes like that when you're using porcelain. Come and have a look. Well, what we had in here, we're using the 600 by 450 trays, okay? And the reason for that, we couldn't get the small 300 by 300s, okay? And that's because they're just not available. They haven't got them in stock. And you ask any of these suppliers to get you one of those, they're just, some of them are just difficult. But come and have a look in the meantime. So what we've done here, I'll just show you how we actually done it. If you stay there just for a second, this is a recess tray, okay? You've got a rubber seal that goes round on there as well to stop the smells coming up. So what we actually do is we'll put it in situ like this, and what happens is the tray will ensure that the plastic frame stays square. You just can't put the frame on by itself. Try and put the tray in, and then what you actually do then, you actually lift it up like that, and you know that plastic frame is correct, okay? And it's in position. We've measured off that slab there, and we've measured off there, so it's parallel on there, 225 mil, whatever it is. Now what we're actually doing is, what we don't want to see when we take the tray up, be it the case that the customer has to rod their drains at some point. I'm going to talk about that now very quickly in a moment. At least when they lift the tray off, they can see something at least half decent. This is almost like what we called years ago benching manholes, okay? When you benched a manhole, what you do, you rough it out with the concrete, and then you bench it over with some cement and some granite dust to try and get a nice shine on it. And believe it or not, we used to use a glass bottle to shine it up. So we've got this in place now. I'm going to make this look a little bit better. Come on have a look over here now. Look down into the manhole. You can see this is looking nice and tidy, but the only problem that we have is that when we took this manhole cover off, the drain is not in good shape at the bottom, and we are not responsible for that. How often do you see contractors get the blame for clients' manhole? That's it. See you soon.
Oh, we're starting this vlog off this morning. As you know, I use Ruby, but what we want to do this morning, we want to try out a cheaper blade, and we're looking at the Urbea because I've used them for, it's a cheap blade, but they do work, but we're not quite sure if this works on porcelain. It's a continuous blade, you can see on there. There's no breaks, it's not a segmented blade, so it's a continuous blade. But there's no information on it at all regarding whether it's for porcelain or what it's for, actually. Great.
Well, there we are. It's here.
we got to get into the Christmas spirit. Joe, I've been so busy lately. I've had no chance to do the vlogs, but I've loaded that one up on the sandstone, the Futurescape. See what I'm like at the moment. And it was great. It was great being down there. Absolutely fantastic. There was nothing like it. Meeting all those guys, all those other landscapers, doing the same thing as what you're doing. But we're back on with the porcelain. Got on with it yesterday, and we had a bit of fun yesterday with the blade. But all good. And Andy tells me it's looking good. Let's have a look. Well, here we are. You might not think that we've made progress, but we actually have. We made quite a bit of progress. We got that tray in yesterday, got the cut in. We did give it a clean off, but obviously we needed to give it a bit more clean. But I didn't want to get too much water on the paving this time of the year. And porcelain cleans up really well, so all this will come spotless. You can see our cups left there yesterday, and we'll have to go back to the customer after. And look what we've done. We got dust on the window from I'm not going to say what it's from, but we got through. And this is the area over here. This is the last bit we're doing. We've got 2 more cuts, I think, on there today to bring that round. 2 or 3 cuts, and then we're going to be working down with this banding course. Got to cut the second segment on here, get that done. And you guys probably think I'm taking my time with this, but we only come back on here yesterday. We've had nearly a week off from here. Some people always say that I seem to take a long time on the jobs, but they don't realise that that when I load up, I'm not building it and loading it the same day. So as I said, one of the things is that make sure you use these spaces on all your jobs, especially when you're laying porcelain. It's just going to maintain the distance, and it looks so much smarter, and it does. You can see it works perfectly. This is the blade I thought I messed up the other day by cutting the plastic with it. It went all over the shop. Don't do it. Don't cut the plastic with it. I should have changed the blade over. Was cutting the inside of a chamber. Shouldn't have done it. You've got to be so careful as well when you're cutting. These aren't designed to actually cut circles, but because we're on a 3.7 meter radius circle, 3 meter radius, you're not bending around so much. So you can just about see the line that we're intending to cut on here now. Look at that, you can just see it. That's enough. That's all I need to follow through on there. And let's have a look to see how this turns out. Your good service. Big smile. Well, there you are. So that you can do with Eton Mason paving, because it's full-bodied. Great porcelain. Well, I don't know where to start. I've probably ordered not enough of the grey ones. I've ordered some extra grey ones, but the dark grey, the Garda, have I ordered enough? Have I got the combination wrong? Yeah. And then I've been blaming it on everything else. It's all been going wrong. It's freezing. It looks like snow. I didn't even want to think about that. And then you start blaming your tools. And really, look at that. Hey, how could I blame that? That's me. Don't even laugh. Oh, I feel tired. I'm looking tired. I've actually just had a nap. I just had a cat nap. And where does that word come from? Cat nap. So just put the lights on it. I'm on my drive. Let's turn that off a minute. There we go. Where's that word come from? Cat nap. But I got to go out. I got to go see a job. And Alison just said to me, "We've done this for years, and can I see in the dark?" Well, I think there's a few things that I need to see. I need to see access. I need to see where it is. I need to see the customers, so I'll be able to see them. Can I go back and measure it up again and check their measurements? But I can make all that pretty clear when I see them, in respect that they've given me some measurements. I will need to measure it, but I will base a quote based on their measurements. And should that quote, those measurements change, there will be an addition, and I will make that clear to them. So probably, yes, I can go and price a job in the dark. I eat a lot of carrots. Well, there you are.
It's raining again. Lovely people. Went and seen them. They've taken up the old slabs, but underneath they got a total solid concrete bed, and they want to lay porcelain. And it's down in a bit of a dip, but they have got a eco drainage system running right away around the front, the perimeter of the property, so the water does get away. They had a damp problem before, not before the slabs was on there, but then when they put the eco drainage in, they solved that problem, so there's no damp there now. So there's no reason, when you put the, fingers crossed, when you put the porcelain down, you ain't going to create any problem again, so it should be good. I suppose the question would be, how do I know that the concrete down there is sufficient? Well, that just is down to experience. You can see that there is no severe undulation, I suppose. That's the first sign, and there's no severe cracking. So yeah, it's a go. They've bought the porcelain themselves, so it's a matter and a case of using a decent exterior adhesive, whether it's Ardex, BAL, or even Mapai. Mapai is really good, and BAL is good as well. They've been around a long time. The science is there, so not a big area. One of the potential problems is that we need to dry lay the porcelain out before we start, so they can see where the cuts are. They've got a big unit in a small area, so it's a 900 by 600, and it's just like tiling really. And that's the thing about a lot of landscapers across the country now are laying porcelain, and do they really know as much as they should do? You know, porcelain should be laid basically in the same way as what it's laid on the inside, and to ensure longevity, you can lay it anywhere you like. In America, they're laying it on sand, on a gritty composite in the States. So it's not what we would do, but they have the freeze back there, so it's different, and different standards, different places. So hopefully we'll get this job. They seem like a lovely couple, and hopefully we'll get a Google review if we do a good job.